Waardenburg syndrome is caused from mutations in these 6 genes. The mutations in these genes determine which type a person has and what characteristic will be displayed.
Sophia Ganev, an audiology doctoral student at JMU and our sign language professor at JMU, has Waardenburg syndrome.
So I was diagnosed around 5 years old. So for the first 5 years of my life, no one caught on to the fact that I am deaf in one ear. It happened when my little sister was born. I was 4 when my sister was born. Around the age of 1 year old, for her, she was diagnosed. They found out that she is totally deaf. And so when they found out she was totally deaf and started catching on to the symptoms, the ear, nose, and throat doctor started catching on to her symptoms, then looked at me, saw that I had similar symptoms. Then they got me tested by an audiologist and found out that I'm deaf in one ear.
The typical characteristics are
Pale blue eyes, different colored eyes, a white patch of hair or early gray hair, wide set eyes, changes in pigmentation of the skin, and some form of hearing loss. Only 1 in 40,000 people have Waardenburg syndrome. To inherit it, you just need 1 copy of the altered gene or genes, which means that only 1 parent has to have the altered genes to pass it on.
So as far up the line as I can remember, my grandfather, he is deaf in one ear and has different colored eyes, heterochromia, and then his son, which is my father, has total deafness in his right ear as well and different colored eyes. And then he had me, my brother, and my sister. My sister is totally deaf in both ears, profoundly deaf, and has bright blue eyes with a brown speck in one of them. And I have different colored eyes, and my right ear is totally deaf, and my brother is totally normal, so he is not a carrier of this syndrome. And so people up above my grandfather also have it. I just can't remember who has what.
People with type 1 have changes in pigmentation of the skin, hair, and eyes. They have eyes that are widely spaced apart and some degree of hearing loss.
People with type 2 have the same characteristics as type 1 except for the widely spaced eyes. Sophia, our sign language professor, has type 2.
People with type 3 have the same characteristics as type 1, but have upper limb abnormalities as well.
People with type 4 have the same characteristics as Waardenburg syndrome and have Hirschsprung disease, which is an intestinal disorder.
Ask my dad. He probably wouldn't give you much of how he's been affected by this syndrome. I think he forgets most of the time that he even has it, other than just having trouble hearing people and asking people to repeat themselves. So he kind of glazes over it. My sister, she's totally deaf. She was implanted with a cochlear implant on one side between the ages of 1 and 2 years old, and so she communicates with sign language. She also speaks. She uses cued speech. She reads lips. So for her, her whole life is based on this. She now attends the Rochester Institute of Technology, RIT in New York, and so she's surrounded by hearing students and deaf students of all kinds, and so she's in the perfect world, basically. And I think she loves, when you ask her if she would change being deaf, she wouldn't change it. If she could tomorrow be a hearing person, she wouldn't change it. She loves being deaf. So I love the fact that I have this syndrome because it's affected my life in wonderful ways, actually. To start off, in the not so great way it's affected my life, when someone has a unilateral hearing loss or is deaf in just one ear, the 2 disabilities that automatically happen are the inability to localize sound when you just have one ear. You cannot determine where sound is coming from, as someone with 2 ears can, which can be tough. When I was a kid, my mom was very careful when I was crossing the street or playing in the street with my friends. I would be the kid who didn't know where the car was coming from, whereas the other kids would get off the street immediately. So that was a factor growing up. And now I found ways to compensate for that. So that's okay. And then second, understanding speech and noise is very difficult. Someone with 2 ears, they have the ability to pick out the speech in a noisy environment. So when I'm at a restaurant or a bar or a concert. It's all reading lips basically from that point on. So those are the two ways that I have to compensate from day-to-day life. As far as a good way that it's affected my life is it's basically decided and driven me to pick my career path. So I'm a doctoral audiology student here at JMU, and I will graduate in 2017 as an audiologist. So I'll be diagnosing and treating hearing losses, and I absolutely love my career path. I couldn't imagine doing anything else, and so I love that I have a reason to go into that, and I have a passion.